How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good. I got my towel over my head to make it sound better for
Okay.
on my
Can you hear me well?
I can. You look beautiful.
I was coming on the Showgirls podcast. I didn't know what to expect. You lucky I don't have on a red lip.
Oh my goodness. I am so grateful that you're coming, that you're here, and there's so much to talk about. So much. The last time I saw you was at school, I believe, and you have had this amazing career since then.
Yeah, it's been a blessing. I'm so excited about all of it, the whole journey.
What has been your favorite job so far?
Oh man, that's really tough because for different reasons. Color Purple was great because it was my debut, of course, and it came at a time that I was just like needing that kind of family and story and work and just all the things that happened with that. But then one of the greatest summers of my life, I think, was when I did Rent in Beach Haven, New Jersey, and I've got some lifelong friends from that journey. So that was a very incredible time too.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. So, do you want to tell the listeners of the podcast your journey, where you grew up and where you went to school, and then the audition situation for you, and how your relationships help continue your career?
Sure. So I'm from Chicago. I like to call it the little big city because it's a it's a major city, but anyway, I'll get into all of that later. I moved here to New York in 2009, and it was on a whim because my friend Andrew Malone was on his way to Amden. I went to his going away party, and I just was celebrating him, and I was on my way to Columbia College. So to let you know, I was so green about this entire business. I think that's why I have on green today. But anyway, I was so green about this whole entire business. I did a lot of community theater in Chicago, but not necessarily on the stage. I was more so in the pit doing background vocals for things until I met a woman named June McLean who asked me to read for one of her plays, and I was like, "Oh no, June, that's not what I do. I sing. That's it." And she was like, "Here's the thing: either you sing, either you read these sides, or you can have a nice day." And I like went to the table and was like, "So where do I begin?" Like just starting. And I got bit by the bug really quickly by being on the stage and building those relationships with people. And so to fast forward to having an audition for Ain't Misbehaving at the Goodman Theater in Chicago, they saw me several times, and I had the pleasure of having someone behind the table that I knew had did a community theater project with them, and he let me know. He said they really like you. That's why they keep bringing you back. However, they keep saying that you're very green, and they couldn't take the risk of having someone who hadn't had a lot of credits or experience to be on their main stage. And so he suggested that I went to school or did some more regional theater. And so I just was like, okay, I'll go to school. And so I signed up for Columbia College in Chicago, and I went to Andrew Malone's going away party, and he asked me in the middle of the party, he said, hey, will you come to New York with me? I know you've gotten accepted to Columbia College, but I just came from there, and I'm on my way to this conservatory in New York that has teachers who have been in the business and things like that. And he's like, this is where you need to be. And to try not to stop the party, I just was like, of course, brother, I'll go anywhere with you, just like appeasing him for the moment. And I don't know. I think God heard that moment, and I had never heard of AMDA. I had never seen a Broadway show, any of those things. And I said yes to him. And I think God heard that moment of yes and just kind of opened the door for that in the algorithms as well, because Facebook started sending me like things of AMDA. I never saw any advertisement or anything of that nature for it. And I knew that you were going to have to fly to New York to audition. And I said yes to him in the back of my mind, I'm like, you're never getting on a plane to go and audition for a school that you don't know if you'll get. I didn't fly to New York. Somehow AMDA held auditions in Chicago. And so I went to the audition, and I remember my friend Tori Davis, he gave me a song to sing. He said, sing your daddy's son. Now, I am a girl from Chicago who grew up in the church and didn't know anything about theater. So I gave you full on gospel belting, just full out. And I remember them being behind the table looking at me and looking like, what's happening? Like this big voice is coming at us. And that song is not that. It's like legit. And I knew nothing about that. So anyway, after I got through singing, they all looked and they were like, so did you fill out the rest of your application? Like, what is happening? And so I filled out my application. They contacted me within days. And like that whole process started in like July. And I went to school at AMDA in October of that same year. Like, it was so wild. I had never even been to New York, but my mom was like, you come up with these ideas and I just want to give you this opportunity to at least let's go visit New York. So then we came here and walked around. And you know what's so funny? What sold me on New York City was the food vendors on the street. So the moment I bought a hot dog off the street, that's funny because we're going to talk about alkaline veganism, but a hot dog is what kind of sold me. Like them selling hot dogs and lamb and everything on the street. And I'm just like, I want this. And she's like, you don't eat this stuff off the street. I was like, Ma, it has to be okay. And so that was a big selling point for getting me to move to New York.
I love it. I love it so much. You know, even at school, we all knew that you were someone special and you had a maturity about you that just, you were always so grounded. When you started booking work, I was not surprised. I was like, of course, of course. And just to watch you soar, the pandemic has put us all out of work temporarily, but it's not forever. It's not forever. We're going to get back to it and you're going to pick up right back where you left off. Which is amazing.
I know. I can't even believe that I'm in Tina the musical. I think a lot of what I'm talking about, my whole journey, even thinking about how I got to New York, has a lot to do with faith. And I couldn't fathom seeing myself in Tina Turner, this big dancing show. And before it got to Broadway, I was on tour with Color Purple, and one of the fans, he saw it on Broadway, and then he saw it also on tour, and he came up to me and he was like, I see you in Tina. And I laughed. I was like, I'm no dancer like that. You know, I don't think I could be in Tina, but I think I lack the faith of it to even see myself in it. But I'm learning that if you just believe, like anything is possible, like just go out.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And I cannot wait to see you in this musical. Did it actually open? Please forgive me for not doing enough homework. I know it was in previews, but did it have opening night before the shutdown?
Yeah, we definitely did. We were there. So we started previews in October. Yes. And then we opened officially in November. And so then we went all the way up until that grand day of March 12th. And then we were out of a job. Yeah.
March 12th, I was on my way to a dress rehearsal of The Sound of Music, which I was choreographing. And then that night after the dress rehearsal, I got an email saying, don't come back to school tomorrow. Everything is closed. So what did you leave things in the dressing room? What was like that for you?
We did. In fact, I didn't believe it. Like my dresser, she was going nuts. She was like, what will happen if they shut Broadway down? But I just had already come into this conclusion, like Broadway never closes. You know, it just will not happen.
Right.
So I don't think any of us believed it. So we left lots of things in the theater. And even when they told us to come back and get our stuff on the 13th, we just gathered up maybe our makeup, and that was it. Like, we didn't really take much. So they had to open the theater again to like tell us to come back again and get more things out of the theater because they didn't know when we were coming back. So it was very sad and just unbelievable to experience that. I mean, you've been around for forever. This just doesn't happen.
Never, never. It's this has never happened in my lifetime and hopefully never will happen again. But I think we've all learned a lot from it. I think it's been a great teacher to us all about faith, about patience, about just staying strong. And do your producers say anything to you about reopening when it's possible? You all know that the show's going to come back.
Yeah, they have given us like all assurance that they want to come back and are doing everything possible to sustain that. And we just had like our Christmas gathering, holiday gathering, and they were just saying we are looking to come back. It's not exciting, but it is exciting, but like not to like June. So
okay. Well, at least there's a vaccine now, because in a few months ago there wasn't. So we're making steps and everybody's just doing what they can in the meantime, right?
Right. Yeah. Being hopeful and coming up with other things to do.
Exactly. Now, something that I've been following you on social media, you've been talking a lot about some big changes that you made in your own personal life about what you eat. And it fascinates me because I was not a very disciplined showgirl. And when I was dancing, I could eat my face off and you would never see it. But now, time has gone on. I'm trying to be a better eater and trying to take care of my body because I'm aging and I want to stay strong and stay vital. So will you tell the listeners about your journey into, is it alkaline veganism? Is that the right way to say it?
That's it. In short, I will tell you that alkaline veganism is a plant-based diet that focuses on eliminating meat, dairy, and processed food. Why do we want to eliminate those things? Those things proliferate like disease or acid in the body. And so this self-proclaimed healer named Dr. Sebi, which is the kind of like the structure that I follow, he talks about mucus is the one disease that there ever is. There's only one disease. And so acid creates mucus. Mucus is what creates the disease. And so having a diet that eliminates these things from your body kind of keeps you, it's all about the pH scale and that's the potential hydrogen in your body. So you want to kind of stay neutral, and keeping your body in that neutral state will keep you from inflammation and mucus and ultimately disease.
It makes total sense to me. But as someone who loves meat and dairy, how do you switch? I mean, you told me that one day you were eating meat and then the next day you weren't. So what made you choose this? How does one basically abstain from all these things? Because I know I'm addicted to sugar. First of all, I know it, because I try to not have some, but there's sugar in everything. You get some wheat thins at the grocery store, there's sugar in those, So how did you do it, Carla?
To be honest, I think it was one of those things where I just had to try it. I never heard of it. But me personally, I suffer from fibroids. And so fibroids are benign tumors around the uterus. And so honestly, I was hearing some other people saying that I've had a surgery in 2014 to get rid of them. But now I felt that same feeling kind of coming back. It was a very familiar thing. And so for me, hearing someone say, oh, I reversed that. I shrunk them naturally. I didn't have surgery, or it just it turned something on in my brain. Like, and honestly, I don't think that it will be this way for everyone, but I literally was like, I want to try. And I just did it. And everything we do is shaped by the expectations that we carry. So I expected a return on what they said that this diet will do. And so I kind of just jumped in there and just did it. I still have flashbacks though. I still smell chicken and remember how great and wonderful it is.
How long have you been doing this?
I started maybe like February 20th of this year. So like right before the shutdown. And so I had a lot of people say, girl, why do you want to do this right now? Like we're like struggling with enough stuff. Like pick that up later.
Yeah. Yeah. But my mother suffered from fibroid, and I have a lot of family members that is an issue for them. So I can imagine witnessing their pain and their surgeries and everything. I can imagine that this would make you want to try something new. And has it helped?
It has helped. If I can be very, very honest, so I had a ultrasound in like March of this year, well, January of this year, and then I just had one yesterday. And already got results, and the doctor was like, well, they're kind of just maintaining, but I do feel better. I don't feel, and then even just looking at my abdomen, I'm not as bloated as I felt I was earlier this year. Now, granted, I am on they don't like to call it a diet, but I am on a diet that is causing me to shed weight or water weight and things like that. But I told my aunt this morning that I just choose to believe it and still follow through with it, because a lot of healing and stuff has to do with the mind. And
yeah.
I don't think that this came into my life by chance. I don't think that now is the time to give up on it and take some type of medicine that the doctor might want to give me, or that also is filled with a lot of acidic properties that will only, like I said, proliferate the growth of this tumor or whatever.
Right. And the stuff, the meals you make and you post, they're beautiful looking. The colors, just how fresh everything looks. It really has inspired me. When I saw you posting all these things, I was like, you should give this a try, or at least part of it, because everything just looked so healthy and good for you. I mean, it can't be hurting you in any way. You know what I'm saying?
And I have a good time making it. Now, me and my roommate, we laugh a lot because he knows that when he sits down to eat, he's like, well, I'll see you in a couple hours, because I'm going in there to just go back there and make magic out of mushrooms and stuff. But it's fun and it's exciting. I don't know what my life will be like when the world actually does open back up and I have to start taking meals and stuff with me. But for right now, I know that I enjoy it. I love to say that I do miss things, but I don't miss out. I just change the ingredients on everything that I want. He just had some eggnog cinnamon rolls, and God in heaven, okay, I did taste it. Okay, they're great. However, my wheels are already turning, trying to figure out how can I make that for myself, where I'm using the ingredients that are allowed, that are not acidic, and that will still keep me in a pH that will not be hospitable to disease.
Right. The whole mucus thing that you say makes so much sense, because when summer rolls around, I don't know about you, but I lose my appetite in the summer with the heat. And basically I eat cucumber and watermelon and all those kind of like very water-based foods. And I just feel so much better. And then winter rolls around and I eat like heavier things. And this is making a lot of sense to me. And I have to say, you look so beautiful. Your skin is radiant.
Thank
You
you.
just look like it's showing. And I think it'll take some more time. You've only been doing it since February. If
Hmm.
you keep doing it, in a year, you'll be able to say, okay, it's been a year now. Let me see what's happening.
Right. And you know, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much because it is encouraging. You know, I read stuff and I have these books and tools that I'm just like learning and what they're saying that this diet promotes like healthy skin and just healthy thinking and all those different things. And so sometimes when I'm trying to rush the processes and hurry up and see the result of it, I can discourage myself. But it's not because of what I'm eating. It's just me wanting to rush the process. And so with you even saying, you know, just give it a little more time, that's where I woke up this morning where I was just like, I'm not going to quit just because of the report that I got yesterday. They haven't gotten bigger, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to stay the course. And, you know, I believe God and I believe these resources that he's given me. And like you said, they're not harming me. And it's really true what you're saying, what you're eating in the summertime, those cucumbers and watermelon, all those things have seeds in it, like seedless stuff is a GMO. It's made in a factory. And you know, when seedless watermelon came into my world, I was like, oh, they helped me out, thank God, you know. But it's like, no, someone in the lab made this and it has no nutritional value. It's not helping you at all. And so those things are actually putting more acid in your body. And when we talk about the mucus, when I heard Dr. Sabi talk about stuff like mucus covering certain joints in your body or certain organs in your body, that's what causes that disease. And that's why it's named what it's named. So like if you have mucus covering joints and you have achiness, and so you have arthritis. And if you have it covering your bronchial tubes, they call it bronchitis and bursitis and all these things where the mucus is landing in your body. Dementia is like too much mucus covering in the brain. And so when you clear that cloudiness and that mucus out of your body, how do you rid yourself of mucus? You have to stop eating acid foods.
And where does alcohol fall into this too? Because I've recently put a little bit of a stop. You know, I like my beer, I like my wine. And I was like, you know what, Michelle, you can't blame the pandemic anymore because it's not an excuse. Like, get it together.
Mm-hmm.
So, is alcohol part of this? Like, can you drink on this at all?
No, because one, you know, alcohol has a lot of sugar in it. And I decided like I didn't want to be that annoying person, like, oh no, I don't drink. Oh no, I don't have chicken. Oh no, I can't have, you know, and then they're like, well, we're not calling Carla because she can't, you know. So, you know, I literally, you know, I think and we, like you said, the pandemic is hard and, you know, everybody has their vice and things like that. But I decided that I don't need to drink, so that's okay. But for my roommate's birthday, I was laughing because I was like, "Is it my birthday?" I had me a cup. He had a glass, and so I was like, "Well, I want one too. Like, let me celebrate." But you know, I quickly jumped back off of that and like no alcohol because it's not a part of it because of the sugar that's in alcohol.
And sometimes when I do have some wine, I really feel like an acid reflux happening from it, you know, and it's interesting how when you really start to pay attention, you notice like this is affecting me not in a good way, or this doesn't feel good the next day if I eat this. So, and I think as performers, our bodies are the instruments that the work has to come through. So to part of our job, I think, is to get ourselves in the best form that we can, because then we can do better work. I mean, do you agree with that?
Absolutely, I do. I really do because, like you said, this is how we get our work and everything. So we need to keep this thing working the best way we can, and the way we control that is by what we put in our mouth.
Yeah. Have you been able to take any voice lessons during the pandemic, or are you just practicing on your own?
I'm just practicing on my own. And, you know, the other night I got to sing a little bit with friends. We did a holiday song that I think it will be out Monday or Tuesday or something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't sing enough. I told my friend, I said, the only person who's getting the only thing I perform for is my shower curtains, like that's it. I'm only singing in the shower and sometimes in my room, but I don't know, maybe I got to witness my friend do a concert at home. He did this holidays at home thing, and it was really nice. He had someone come over and play the piano, and it was really nice. And I was like, man, I should do that because I love singing and I love talking, as you can see. So
And how is Andrew Malone? I haven't seen him lately, but he is on social media. I see his posts sometimes. Are you still close with him?
I am. I am very close with him. And I was just telling him yesterday, because lately he's been posting about the shows that he's been watching, and he does a very brilliant write-up on them. And so I was like, is this like a new career that we're stepping into? Because I mean, he gave a review on Tiny Things or something like that. He gave a review on Lovecraft Country. He's given reviews on several different things that I think that they are very clear and concise and funny and honest and raw. And I'm like, I don't know, are you going to become a reporter? And I always thought he was a brilliant actor. So yeah, he's doing well.
Good.
He lost his mom during the pandemic. But even in spite of that, like, he's still like going strong, and I'm so proud of him. I'm happy for him.
I'm going to write him after we get off talking. I'll tell him that he's in the podcast.
Yeah. I'll be sure to let everyone know.
As far as this last couple months has been, what have you learned about yourself during this time when your schedule got interrupted, your job got temporarily taken away from you? And what's the big takeaway that you get from the last couple months?
We rely a lot on our job to bring us happiness, but that has to start from within. And then also grace, giving myself a little bit of grace will allow me to live in a place of freedom instead of always beating myself up. And even with this diet and living an alkaline life, if I fall off, I know that I have another opportunity, like the moment after, I have another opportunity to get back up and instead of staying down. And so grace has been a big part, and learning that happiness and joy and stuff comes from within and not what I actually do.
Wow. That's amazing. Does Dr. Sebi have a book that people could go read, or does he have a YouTube channel or something that people could learn more about it?
So I have purchased this book. It's called Alkaline Plant-Based Diet. I got it off of Amazon, of course. They got a lot of my money this year. But I don't know how to pronounce his name. So I think it's Akil Anis, but it's Aqiyl, and the last name is Aniys. And it's called Alkaline Based Diet. And he did a heavy study on Dr. Sebi and this other doctor named Dr. Campbell. And it's a lot of great stuff and recipes in the back. I'm not a big recipe follower. Just tell me what's in it, and then I'll make my own thing. But then if you go to Dr. Sebi's website, he does have a website, you can see the nutritional guide with all the foods and things that he thinks are the least detrimental to your health.
I'm going to do that as soon as we get off talking. I'm going to go do that because even just cutting out bread a little bit, like that bread and all that, like wheat and yeast, taking that. I bring almonds to work now when I'm hungry. So just having a few almonds is better than having like a roll or a bagel.
Yeah. I'm still heavy into, I love chips. I love snacks. But what I want to say for you, a quick recipe that I'll put on here so you can go back and listen whenever you want. But it's a sweet treat because you like your sweets, right? Am I correct? Okay, so this is really simple. It's about 4 ingredients. And I like to call it like a little soft praline. And so it's tahini, which is grounded sesame seeds, almost like a butter. So it's tahini, agave, walnuts, and coconut oil. And you just, I'll send you the actual recipe, but what you want is the most is the tahini, then you want a little less of the agave, and then a very little less of the coconut oil, and then as much nuts as you want. And then you mix it all together, spread it in a shallow cookie sheet, stick it in the freezer for about maybe like 30-40 minutes just to let it congeal, because the coconut oil is what's going to harden it. Cut it, and I promise you, someone will catch you standing at the freezer, eating it out the freezer, because it's so good.
Oh, that sounds good.
It's so good.
That sounds delicious. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of listeners who are students and new to the business.
Yeah.
Now that you have been in the business and been quite successful, is there anything that you want to tell people that are just starting out, or this is just a dream, they're in the dream phase, they haven't gone to auditions yet, they haven't even started training full force yet? Is there anything you want to say to people?
First, I think you're in a great spot to still be dreaming and still loving. And I would say try your best to not ever lose that. Go on every audition, even the ones that you don't think you're going to get, but study to show yourself approved and go on in there and get it. I would encourage everyone to be honest, bring yourself into the room. You can only be you, like that is legit. And you'll hear in thousands of talkbacks, I've even said it in hundreds of them, you are enough. And the people behind the table they are legit rooting for you. So you can relax and just do your thing. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Carla, I thank you so much for your time today. Just seeing your beautiful face and talking to you and just feeling your spirit come through the camera as I'm sitting here with a towel over my head to get good audio.
This has been so much fun for me. Like, I am legit, like, who am I that anyone would want to talk about anything with me? But I'm so excited that you reached out, and I'm so happy to have done this. Please invite me back.
Of course I will. And, I think that you're a major force in this industry. I think you've only just begun. And it makes me so happy that I knew you back a couple of years ago, and all this beautiful work has come about in the short time since. And it's only the beginning, because you're just going to soar and go to new heights and new heights. I hope you do film and TV. I don't know if that's a goal for you. Is it?
It is. And last year I was able to shoot my first. It's small, but man, it was a good feeling to have them come and pick you up at 5 a.m. and take you to set and everything. It was amazing. But you can see it on Hulu. Hulu has this series called Wu-Tang, the American Clan, Wu-Tang. Can we edit this out? No.
Yeah. We can if you want.
Oh my gosh, I'm kidding, but it's on Hulu. It's called Wu-Tang, and I'm on episode 5. And the funny thing is, one of the lead characters goes to see the piano lesson, and I'm the actress who brings her to tears. And so my credit it's Carla Stewart, actress, and I'm in this montage. So you can't hear me, but I'm emoting for my life.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, film and TV is a major part of our business. And I'm only saying that just because I think when people get cast in film and TV, then you have a concrete, like you have something that you can look back on in later years. Mm-hmm. Whereas theater, it disappears in the moment. And we love our theater, but I think doing both is an excellent way to round out your career.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. It's nothing like either of them, because we love that live feeling, like you've got one shot and this is it, and it's raw and it's all these things and it's electric and everything. But like you said, you can go back and watch yourself and, and look at all these creative moments that you have, and they're just like in a time capsule for you.
Exactly. It's like a time capsule. Plus, I think all of us have been watching so many TV shows during the pandemic and watching all this really great writing. I mean, do you have a favorite show? Is there something that you like to watch?
Well, we binge watched it. Me and my roommate haven't done that in a long time, but we sat up and watched The Undoing. Did you see that? And we were
Not yet.
undone. Oh my God. You will sit there with that thing over your head for all 7 episodes, okay? Because you will be like, I cannot get up. Let it just start. The next one, and they are all like 45 minutes. So we were there for hours. We watched all of it in one sitting.
Is that the one with Nicole Kidman?
Yes. And
okay.
Hugh Jackman, yes.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Saturday to give away, give it to The Undoing. It was good.
Yeah. Well, thank you again. You're wonderful. You're going to inspire a whole group of people who just they can't wait to see you in the theater again. Oh, I can't wait. I'll let you know when I go to Tina. I'll be like, hey, I'm here.
Please do.
And well, have a wonderful day. And thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I hope to see you again.
The Showgirl Tip of the Day podcast has original music composed by Joshua Holloway. Find him on YouTube, Joshua Holloway Music. This podcast is written by Michelle Bruckner and edited by Michelle Bruckner and Joshua Holloway. Find me on Instagram, Showgirl Tip of Day. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again next week with a new episode.